Deep truths about love that most men learn too late. Point 1. Love isn't redemption, it's often a strategy. Especially for women. Detailed explanation. Many men, especially emotionally honest ones, are raised to believe that love is salvation. That one day, they'll meet a woman who will understand their chaos, soothe their wounds, and love them into becoming a better version of themselves. They think of love as something almost sacred, spiritual, pure, like a warm, unconditional blanket that wraps around their flaws and makes them whole. But here's a truth few men want to hear. Women, for the most part, are not looking for someone to heal. They're looking for someone who already knows how to hold himself together. While men see love as a refuge, women often approach love as a form of strategy, not necessarily manipulation, but conscious calculation. Why? Because many women have been disappointed too early, too often, and too deeply, by fathers, by exes, by brothers, by the world. So they learn early that blind love can cost them their peace, time, and dignity. So now, when a woman loves, it's usually with awareness. She might seem soft, gentle, romantic, but underneath that is a sharp, alert mind. She's scanning. Can he lead emotionally? Can he regulate himself when stressed? Will he validate me or silence me? Is he consistent when he's no longer in pursuit? She may express her love with affection, but she measures safety with pattern recognition. It's not just about how you make her feel when you're in a good mood, it's about how you treat her when you're tired, when you're disappointed, when you're no longer chasing her. Men often confuse intensity with intimacy, but women know that intense men can be impulsive, inconsistent, and emotionally reckless. So while she may be attracted to your fire, she will only stay if you bring emotional maturity and reliability. That's why some women can seem cold when they walk away, because they've already tried, mentally, emotionally, and even physically, to keep the connection alive. What looks like a sudden shift is often a gradual disconnection. She's been grieving in silence, and most men don't notice until she's gone. Point 2. She didn't betray you. She stopped performing. Explanation. When a woman begins to emotionally withdraw from a relationship, men often feel blindsided. She used to be warm and affectionate. Now she's cold. She used to support me. Now she's distant. What happened to her? But here's the bitter truth. She didn't change. She stopped performing. See, in the beginning of most relationships, women give more than they receive. Especially if she's emotionally invested, she'll naturally mirror your energy, uplift your confidence, offer emotional availability, and sometimes even overgive to establish a safe, emotional environment. She becomes your emotional mirror. She reflects your strength, validates your presence. She gives you attention, support, softness, and in return, she hopes for emotional reciprocity. But what happens when that reciprocity doesn't arrive? She waits. She communicates softly. She hints. She tolerates. She adjusts. But slowly, she begins to realize, I'm performing more than I'm being loved. And that's the beginning of the end. She won't scream. She grow quiet. She won't leave immediately. She detach silently. She won't start a war. She build a wall. Her silence isn't passive aggression, it's emotional exhaustion. What you're witnessing isn't betrayal, it's burnout. You thought she was naturally sweet, nurturing, encouraging, but that version of her was hopeful, not guaranteed. She was willing to show up in her highest feminine energy because she thought the relationship had emotional depth, but she got tired of giving to someone who didn't know how to hold space for her pain, her needs, her heart. So now you say, she's not the same. And you're right, because now you're meeting the real version of her, the one that emerges after disappointment. Final truth. Real love isn't about effort alone, it's about emotional alignment. So many men think love is a performance. If I just do more, say more, give more, she come back. But emotional love isn't a transaction. It's not about volume, it's about vibration. A woman doesn't leave because you're not doing enough. She leaves because the emotional energy she once felt has vanished. She doesn't need flowers if you can't be emotionally present. She doesn't want apologies if you keep repeating the same disconnection. She doesn't want more gifts. She wants to feel you seeing her, feeling her, respecting her emotional rhythm. The woman you lost wasn't looking for a perfect man. She was looking for a man who could show up emotionally, consistently, and consciously. Summary of key lessons. Love isn't a safe house for men. Women expect you to already be emotionally anchored. Most women love strategically. They lead with emotion, but stay with clarity. Her withdrawal isn't sudden. It's the end of a silent, emotional journey you didn't notice. She didn't betray you. She stopped playing the role. You confused with her identity. Real love is when both people feel seen, not when one constantly performs.